So just the discussion that came up in the mentorship this week, and it's looking at the importance of the rib cage for thoracic stability. Now, the thoracic spine, it's gained a lot of popularity for, all these drills about gaining loads. We need loads and loads of thoracic mobility. And yeah, sure, we definitely need movement through the rib cage. We need movement through all joints, certainly. But one of the biggest, most overlooked functions of the thoracic spine is the stability component, especially in the gym with our athletes. So when a lot of athletes are squatting and when a lot of athletes are deadlifting, we need to appreciate the forces that thoracic spine and rib cage has to absorb. Okay, and there's a few studies actually coming out now looking at the importance of the rib cage. And again, there's not an awful lot known or studied on the intercostals as kind of force absorbers almost, but if we actually look at the recent studies, it's shown that when they use the mathematical models for the compressive forces on the thoracic spine, mathematical models, they're not the be all and end all, but they're certainly useful. We can see that when they take into account the rib cage, there's a 32% decrease of compressive forces going through the thoracic spine. Now, they haven't looked at the lumbar spine there, but that certainly tells us that if we can get that rib cage and those intercostals doing their job, then certainly that can help us take a lot of forces away from the lumbar spine. Now, anyone who's worked in sport or especially the rugby leagues and the rugby unions, you will, I'm sure, have had some player come into you, they've been squatting or they've been deadlifting, and all of a sudden their back goes, okay, in inverted commas, okay. So again, the trip switch is hit, whatever there's a perceived threat with the amount of forces that's going through that lumbar spine. And again, we can see from clinical experience that once we get that rib cage doing its job again, then we can change this pain output and this warning signal, if you want to call it that, very, very quickly. So it's just something to consider, that with the thoracic spine and the rib cage, don't be so quick to always be going after mobility with it, but actually, in terms of meaningful movements, the rib cage and the thoracic spine, they have to absorb a lot of forces. And, certainly in my opinion, I think they absorb a lot of forces from the peripheral joints, okay? So especially if there's errors coming through from the peripheral joints, then I think the thoracic spine and the rib cage will absorb a lot of those errors as well. So keep that in mind when you're designing your rehab, your return to play strategies, and especially when that athlete's gone back into higher level movements, especially in the gym. The rib cage and the thoracic spine, from a stability, force absorbing, directing those forces around the body, it's very, very important. Okay, so just want to keep it in mind. If you haven't picked up my 7 Steps to Clinical Excellence ebook yet, feel free to pick that up. It's 7 of the big lessons that I've learned the hard way, working both in private practice and professional sport. And I share with you some of my biggest lessons there as well. So you can pick that up depending on where you're watching this video. Usually there'll be a button under it that you can pick it up quite quickly. I'll email it to you and I'll share those big lessons with you.